Let there be light, and there was light. So I'm calling on Revelation. Revelation as the understanding that everything has a voice, has a frequency, has life, and can respond to our call and commands. So I call on Revelation and I call on waters, the waters which represents Mother Eve, the spirit that moved upon the face of the waters. It's like the waters itself became hot or whatever it was, or the temperature, and gave rise to itself, if you like. And so basically, calling upon these as vibration or entities, however one wants to make sense of it, but I call on these because I believe every word has a certain frequency and vibration, which everyone would agree, then that would also respond to our call. So if we use, for instance, if I say I'm cold, I perhaps would just begin to feel a bit colder because otherwise I would not be in unison with what speaking and sensing. So to really have a sense of harmony, there has to be some kind of unity, and that's how the gods are right now. We need to call upon the gods as well so they can operate in harmony. Now, for the 11, which was, of course, the 11th of November 2018, or 11 minutes past 11, I decided to do some grounding, and I had a wonderful revelation. And it was really like asking, what am I meant to be um, asking, or what am I meant to be gratifying, or being grateful for? And so it came to me that the gods are now ready to work together so we can create man in our image after our likeness. If you've watched my videos before, then you would see that this is what Mother Eve has really called us to do. And if you have any scriptural knowledge as well, in Genesis of chapter 1, and of course, there were eight entries or 8 verses where Mother Eve is saying, "Let there be," and let. So the word "let" is really her command, is really her telling. It's like she's telling the story, or she's telling us what we ought to be doing step by step. And now we are at the stage where we are called to make man in our image after our likeness. So it came to me through this meditation while I was barefoot on the ground, and really feeling a deep sense of gratitude. And I felt that that's what I had to really ask for. And I feel I was almost a little bit saddened that it didn't happen before, that I could really have a video on this to encourage people to do that. But it doesn't matter. In fact, I came to understand that everything is in divine timing, and so it is perfect. And what happened is that I realized that the called God, the caused God, the created God, the moved God, the made God, the breathed God, and the blessed God, the ended God, the divided God, the formed God, and the planted God. Just to ensure, I have called each one of them. Oh, the said God, which is Mother Eve, the said God, the saw God, of course, the God who saw, and the set God, the God who set. Is like the God who created the template, we could say. Those 14 gods are now ready to work together. So basically, it's like with every election, we could say, even if there was like a degree of friction going on somewhere, but there comes a point where people, or should I say politicians, or those who have been defeated and those who have conquered, will come together and work together. There are times that would take place, and now is such a time. Now is such a time that although we hear a lot about the frictions, it's like um, a pothole, if you like, or there is that moment. It's that moment that we need to really grasp right now. It is this moment where we can ask of the gods, because the gods are operating through us. And according to our behaviors and according to our commands and according to our wishes, the gods are acting accordingly. This is why we need to remember that the message has been left for us. Whatever you shall bind in the heavens, you shall bind in the earth, or bond in the heavens and bond in the earth. This is really telling us that we are the God's expression. If we are not receptive to the gods working in harmony, then that's how it's going to be. But if we are particularly of one accord, calling on the gods to say, look, I am ready now. I understand each of your makeup. I understand you are the created God, you are the brave God, you are the said God, you are this and you are that. Now, for you to operate at your highest good for all concerned through me, this is what I am requesting of you, that you work together. You take your position, take your rightful position in that space, or that branch of whatever it is that you feel. Take your rightful place, not another's, because you cannot operate to your optimum best through another. So take your rightful position, take your rightful resources, and make your talents be known through me, that I can access your resources, I can access the tools, the gifts, that which you are, and to shape it to the highest good of all concerned. So basically, I felt that this was so profound, so timely for an 11-11-11 moment. And intuitively, I wanted this to also last for 11 minutes, or at least, and because I understand that in 11 has the 9, when we do the numerical value for the word 11, it has 9. So to have to attach to 11, ELEVEN 535, and knowing that 11 has Mother Eve in the middle of it as well, or the word even, to even out that which we want to happen. So this consciousness was very vital. Oh, I need to position. Well, the gods are getting us to reposition, because it's a new thing here. When we say it's a new thing, we are looking at this era of creation or creativity happening through us. Okay, so there we are, adding this together. This is 15, 20, this is 27. So 2 plus 7, as I continue to say as well, The 2 is telling us about 2 sets of creation, or 2 sets of 7 gods right here. 2 sets of creation on the 7th day, or 2 sets of God or 7 gods, like it were in the story of Noah. So Noah, of course, had to take animals in sets of 2s or sets of 7 or 7s. And of course, when we do the numerical value for the word 7, SEVEN, which also consists of Mother Eve, and the word, because of course the S is the serpent that gets even. So there's the serpent, but it evens out. The serpent is here to help us even out our situation. So 1, 5, 4, 5, 5, adding this together gives us 20. We can see how 20, of course, because it's 2, it has that even number here as well. So basically, we have seen that 2 plus 7 is 9. So 11 has the execution of 9 in it. 9, hence 9, 11. So everyone knows this. Okay. So basically, this is the vibration that was so necessary. And this first set of gods as well that we see in Genesis of chapter 1 is of the 9 gods. And then we have in chapter 2, we see they have 5 gods. 9 plus 4 equals 14. Of course, 14 is Mother Eve. This is why we say Mother Eve is the umbrella of all of this. When we add 5 plus 4 plus 5, that gives us 14. Of course, 1 plus 4 is 5. And that's how we've come to have our news. Like in here, oh, I seem to be missing something here as well. This is meant to be news. I'm not sure what I've done here right now. Let's go over this. So this is the news. NEW. Of course, the S, the 5 serves as the S right here. And of course, this becomes our news. Okay, so let's have our 5 here. And this is the fox. If you are new to this is the sacrifice template from which we have been working, and we have found that everything seemed to be going very well in the sense of revealing a lot of insights. GPY is Gypsy Journey. So we have the jazz. This is like stages of development. And through those stages of development, through the sacrifice template, we get to understand ourselves. And we are talking about Mother Eve has called us to this section, although now we are doing the developmental stage here, which I would like to go into on a deeper level. So this is headquarters zone, HQZ, and this is the inland revenue. Now, just in case you are new to this is what we call the sacrifice template, but it is designed in a way to let us understand our makeup, and also how the sacrifice had come to be such a phenomenal construct of our makeup. So this is the jazz, and around, of course, we're talking about Jesus Christ. Of course, this is the basket or bucket of wine or basket of bread. This is luck, as in look as well, but luck as in telling us that we ought to look as well as being lucky. But this is the stage of where we feel lucky. We take our chances, as in number 3, because the 3 is very vibrant. It becomes an M, it becomes a free, it is a W, and it's also an E. So no matter which way we turn, we tend to turn with this 3, as in here, as in the M, as in 3, as in E, as in W. Any which way we seem to turn, we find ourselves lucky, because we can form, with our behaviors, we can form things that seem to make sense to us. We say we are lucky. But then when it comes to really building, we need to be in our developmental stage. We have the M here in the developmental stage that gives us that familiarity of that 3 vibration, or the 8-petal flower I have just drawn. But the D here and the V, of course, this is where I say it's like our north, south, east, and west. It is telling us about the 4 vibration right here, or the 40 years in the desert with the children of Israel, or the 40 days and 40 nights of fasting and praying that Christ did, or 40 days of fasting or meditating, I think it was, with Moses on Mount Sinai. There was 40 as well. There is a 40 with Noah as well. I think it rained for 40 days or as well. So all these 40s are foundational right here. They build, it's about building and birthing newness. So this is where I'm saying that with 4, for instance, we see that 4, has the hour in it. There is a calling to us here. This is what Mother Eve is telling us here. Mother Eve is calling, and I don't know, I could say that the F is like the face, but F has the numerical value of 6. So basically, in 4, we are recognizing ourselves. We are meant to recognize ourselves in that developmental stage. When we do the numerical value for the word 4, it gives us 24. So this is 6, 6 plus 3 plus 9 gives us 24. And 2 plus 4 equals 6. But we also see the same happens for the word 5. And this is the beauty of these revelations, because we tend to think that things happen by chance, but it's not like this at all. So 4, 5, 9 plus 9, 18, this is 24. So we can see that revelation or creation was happening with this 24. When Mother Eve said, for instance, let there be light, and there was light. So there in that verse itself of Genesis of chapter 1 verse 3, that totals the numerical value of 24. Of course, 2 plus 4 is 6. And we are number 6. We could see a lot of things were happening right there in that spell that Mother Eve cast. So we can see how 5, as in Mother Eve's numerical value of this 14, encapsulates all of creation in itself. God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and on the 7th day he ended or rested. So we can see that happened here. We could almost say that it probably happened in on the number 4, but in fact we see it's in the 3rd verse. So the 3rd verse in itself is before the 4th verse. So we could see an interrelation, or some connectedness was happening here. So to really look at this 11, 11, 11, of course it is gone, but I want to really emphasize that I feel that the message for us right now is to really get to know the gods and understand that they are part of our makeup, and understand that we have the power, we have been given the power. It's like a mother and child, or parent and child. The parent often is seen as the figure in authority. No, but the parent is dependent on the child to really express its needs, so that the parent knows how to, or how to act or behave, and what resources to provide the child. So, for instance, when a child is hungry and it cries, then the mother or parent or the caregiver knows, well, this is what happens. And in understanding the way the child would cry, after building or developing a relationship, of course, providing that you are in tune with the care that you're giving, which is what the gods do. They are supposed to be in tune with what they are providing, or what resources or talents or gifts that they possess. But we need to know that if, for instance, I decide to keep my mouth shut right now, the God cannot speak through me right now, not in this verbal, vocal sense. So there is something very important for us to recognize, that we have a responsibility to talk and converse and observe and learn the gods, their nature, so that they in turn can perform through us for the highest good of all concerned, meaning making man in our image after our likeness. Now, I hope you have found this useful, and I would like to expand on this a little bit more. So, well, please watch my other videos after this, and of course, see how we can really work together in creating man in our image after our likeness. And what the question would be, what kind or what sort of person that I would like to create after my likeness. So that means I've got to have a very good idea of my makeup, so I can create after my likeness consciously. Thank you. Do enjoy. Thank you.